Okay guys, more serious stuff going on, but it's good that you are alerted, so let's get into it.
Under my wings, I can feel the air pulling me up as I leave you there. Return to the tears, I can hear them say, written like a poem, but with broken wings.
Guys, it's Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is our message for the week beginning January 8th, 2018. We just got done with the auto write, and I'm going to go through it right now. But while I'm still in that mode, I want to discuss a few things. So many of you, I've said this before, some believe me, some don't. I don't really care, but I don't watch the news. I do not watch the news. Because I travel and go see my family usually around the holidays, I do film videos well in advance, not that far in advance, but you know, well enough that there was no talk of half this weather stuff that's been happening. There was no talk of stuff happening in Ireland by the time I was recording last week's video. So like I said, I don't watch the news, so I know what's going on in the world because you guys who live in those areas, you're reaching out to me and letting me know what's going on. So my love and prayers to everybody in Ireland. I know there's some upheaval. I didn't get a chance to look into it, but somebody said there's some upheaval going on in California. And of course, all that crazy weather system that's coming up the South in the United States. So I'm with you guys. I love you. I know ice can be super, super scary. Please don't try to drive on it. It's not, you know, you don't have anything to prove. Okay, so just stay indoors, be cozy. Your boss is going to have to get over it if you can't get to work, okay? So just be safe. So I did want to point out, too, before we get into this week's message, that last week I had this feeling that the messages that were coming up were not exclusive to just the week of January 1st, okay? Having said that, I think this is one of those things, everything that came up for the January 1st video, I think those trends are going to be continuing on probably throughout the month. We'll tune back in obviously weekly, and we'll see what's going on there. So let's get into the auto write for this coming week of January 8th. Let me just get into it here. I don't want to sit here and say that there was a heavy feeling, but do not let your guard down, okay? There's a big feeling around that. So it says, it's happening as we said, and there is more to come. So that's what we were talking about last week. It's, you know, it's going to be starting the week of January 1st. Get yourself prepared, but it could be still happening. Okay. Do not ignore these messages as they will help you grow. We're going to talk about that too. Resistance in this growth, as we have said, will cause only delays. And then they interjected with volcanoes erupting. This was a weird auto write. So there was this, I don't know, we were kind of going back and forth with the messages here. So they would start talking about people and what we need to know to grow, and then start, like, there's this overlapping and interjection of what's going to be happening for the earth as well. We'll get into it. Like I said, I've said that like 3 times now, but it's all in here. We're going to get through it, but there's a lot still coming in. So bear with me here. It might be a little disjointed. So volcanoes erupting. This could be emotional, okay? Maybe you're a volcano ready to erupt, or these could be societal things that are happening where things are erupting, but it did also feel like there could be some sort of volcanic activity Later on, they talk about earthquakes. So hang with me. Okay. You're going to hear me say that a million times because I don't want you to get scared. Okay. It's all good. We just need you to know. You are growing and seeing what is not to be accepted anymore, but use of popular opinion to your own gain will lead back to where you started. I can't read my own handwriting. Continue forward, and it's all in caps, underline, not back. It really is simple. Love and empathy. So I think what this is talking about is us becoming more aware of what we're tired of. If you go on YouTube and you look at some of like the beauty community videos, for example, people are like, I am so sick of seeing swatches. Me too. I am so sick of seeing this and that. And, you know, I'm tired of this kind of behavior on YouTube, just as an example. So people are starting to wake up to this. The other thing I think people are getting tired of is with our spiritual channels here on YouTube, people are getting tired of the know-it-alls. No, I don't mean it the way that sounded, but like people who aren't given the human side to their formula for life, you know. So somebody might say, oh, well, if you're in grief, you're not in enlightenment. That's too low a frequency for you to be in enlightenment. You know, the best way for you to reach enlightenment is to let it go. Okay, but that's a rudimentary way of looking at it. And what happens when someone who truly is a victim, who needs to be heard, who needs help, sees that? So how are they going to take it? Like, that's how my mind is always going, like, careful, you know, because I don't want somebody who is actually a victim to feel like they're further away from enlightenment and further away from God because of something that happened to them. Do you know what I mean? I can do a video on that. Let me know down below if you want to talk about the enlightenment that everyone keeps talking about and how we need to be careful with victimhood. All right. We've talked about that in other videos, but I can do a more specific one if you want. So love and empathy talks about tuning into that and letting all this stuff that's really occupied your time, set that down for a second. Okay. Now I'm not talking about letting go of things that you still need to process, but I'm talking about laying down, trying to keep up with whoever is out there, which we talk about here. There are those that cannot tap into love and empathy. And these are those you see often in the public eye. They are there for good reason. They have to be. They can't produce their own energy. So think of all the celebrities out there. Not that every celebrity is evil, or I'm not saying that, but a lot of people who do strive to be in the spotlight in one way or another, it's because they can't create their own energy. They have to siphon off of other people. And we put them on a pedestal. We look up to them. Our children are looking up to them. You feel where I'm going with this? Okay, let's keep going here. Do not follow those examples, as they will not lead to true happiness. So you hear me, like, narcissism is like a big buzzword for me. And every time I say it in a video, like, I shouldn't encourage certain games, but, like, you know, I say it quite enough in my videos, but it's because it is so prevalent in the world and it's getting worse. Okay, this is the selfie generation. Everybody is, you know, we all have our Facebook page where we tell our whole life story. I remember way back when my friend came to me and said, hey, my buddy's doing this thing called Twitter. Do you want to help us, you know, test this out? And I'm like, what's Twitter? What the heck is that all about? So my very first tweet that I ever sent, and this was before anybody knew about Twitter, the first tweet I ever sent was, what is the point of this? And my friend's response was, it just lets people know where you are and what you're doing. I'm like, who cares what I'm doing? But that was, now for me personally, looking back, that was sort of the beginning of the end. Because everybody thought their every minute of every bit of their life was so important that the whole world had to know about it. Do you see what I'm getting at here? So, okay, maybe I just opened a can of worms and then I'm not fully explaining it because I want to move on with the message. So, I mean, we can open up a discussion about that, of course, but let's keep it friendly. Let's keep it healthy. Okay? All right. Then they interjected again. Remember I said they were talking about sort of like humans in our personal development, not looking up to narcissists and not trying to emulate people who can't produce their own love and empathy. They don't have empathy for other people. That's not every narcissist, but definitely sociopaths and psychopaths. They don't have empathy. Okay. So then they interjected with crash Earth. And then I gave the big old question mark. I would show you this, but I think the lights just kind of blare it out anyway. But you see it in the auto right. Crash Earth. And then they further explain, The earth changes are intense now. This should not surprise you. There are changes in the earth's structure, the crust, and this will bring earthquakes and eruptions. So the earth is sort of overturning right now. It's been happening for quite some time, and a lot of us, I think, wanted to turn our heads. And this kind of weaves into the personal aspect of this message, where I can't tell you how many times I have heard someone say, they see a child. This actually happened. I think I used this example in another video. I actually saw somebody who wasn't handling a baby very safely. One person standing next to me goes, "Oh my God, I can't watch this," and walked away. And I'm looking at them like, are you out of your freaking mind? I'm standing there with my arms out, like ready for this person to drop their baby. Okay, I'm ready to catch that little baby if need be. And this other person's walking away. Why? Oh, because I can't handle it. Some of us are too sensitive. Okay, if you're new to my channel, I don't put up with that. Okay, I am one of the only mediums that I know of out there that will not coddle the super sensitive. Okay, like if you don't know different kinds of empaths, you might want to look it up. You can figure out, try to guess what kind of empath I am, and leave it down below. That'll be our little game for this week. What kind of empath is Michelle Patterson? All right, so let's get back into this. So the earth, we're talking about the Earth's structure and us not looking away, okay? And us, it's all hands on deck. I've said that before, okay? Just because you can't hear it, oh, it's too scary for me. Work on that and then come on back, ready to work, okay? We need to be taking care of this earth, and we also need to be taking care of ourselves, and in a true way, okay? Not just, oh, I'll be okay when I lose 20 pounds, or I'll be okay when I have this amount of money, or when I'm with that person, you know? We're off base, and we need to come on back into center. All right, the best way for you to prepare is to not emulate those who strive for ego pursuits in fame, but look to those with true peace. This will not include those who claim enlightenment, okay? So they're talking about the false gurus. Now, a lot of you know I've never claimed to be a guru. I don't think there are too many out there that really know what's up, right? We're all human. We're all dealing with an ego. Some people try to pretend like it's not there so that they can be more popular or whatever. But you know me, I'm like full on. This is me. Sorry, that's it. That's what you get. But we don't want to look up to people, and you know, we don't want to worship them. We got to watch out for false gods. Again, I know this well, and I know I've had a lot of experience with that mentality, because I've had people, when I got onto YouTube, I was fresh meat. Okay, I was fresh meat. And with rampant narcissism, and then on the other side, we have so much of the population that's traumatized. And so they're maybe afraid to create their own energy, but they always want to latch on to somebody to siphon their energy. And we call that neediness, right? So when I first got on to YouTube, I was inundated with people who just wanted me to tell them how to live. And I'm like, girl, I don't even know what I'm doing over here, okay? Like, I'll sit down in front of the camera, I'll do what I can, I'll tune in, I'll use this thing that I've got going on, and I'll you know, give you something for you to work with, but I can't tell you how to live. I'm not taking responsibility for that, no. So just be careful with who you look up to, and really pay attention to people out there, especially spiritual people who just want to be famous. Okay, careful. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. I've got some backstory on a lot of people, and just be careful. If you're careful, you'll be fine. And this is also not emulating people who, like I said too, like these celebrities that are living this hard and fast lifestyle, and they make it seem like that's super glamorous, or it's super edgy and it's sexy. There's nothing sexy about being blacked out on a sidewalk, okay? Use your head. If you're young and you want to talk to me like a mama, that's okay. We'll have a discussion. You know, I'll help you out, because I am happy to share all the mistakes I've ever made so that you don't have to do it, okay? Not that I was ever passed out on a sidewalk, no, but I've been around people who did that, and it was terrifying. So take care of yourselves, all right? All right, so look up to the people who are really in true peace. So these are people who are not judgmental. You know, judging others is kind of something that humans do, but you know what I'm talking about. The people who really try to put themselves above others. You know, somebody who's really in their true peace, they're going to let that empathy and that love comes in. And so even if somebody is acting the fool, they're going to still love that person and understand they're coming from hurt, or they're coming from perhaps a trauma in their own life. Again, we could go, this is a very deep message, we can go on and on, but let's keep going. Not to include those who claim enlightenment. Listen to your hearts, beloved souls, and here you will know the good examples, and the way they put it, from the off. The good examples from the off. So from the off examples. If it feels off, so to speak, then trust that, okay? It's not good for you, all right? All right, find your way to divine love. Change your goals and come into the true meaning of peace. We've said this before. You know, you don't have to strive to have certain accomplishments in your life for your life to mean something. You're already precious just as you are. The fact that you showed up to be human at this time, and any other time maybe you showed up as a human, is absolutely wonderful. And, you know, one of the things that I constantly just tell people is, like, if you showed up as a human and you took a breath, there's one part of your path done, okay? If you love and you allow yourself to be loved, there's the second layer of your path, and so on and so forth, okay? All right, so we're going to leave it there. Let's get on to the cards. All right, guys, so let's get into the angel oracle card portion of this message. Remember that these are general readings. If you would like to get a personal reading for you, just go to my website at angelsouls444.com, the services tab, and get in line for a reading. They're very easy, no time commitment on your part. I do them digitally, and I know that that's a little weird for some people, but trust me, it's working. It's working, and people like it. So that's how you do that. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, that's always very much appreciated. I'll leave all that information in the description box below. And please don't forget, I still have courses on archangels, how to read oracle cards, how to perceive your angels, all over on Gumroad. Again, the information is down below. So for this week, we're going to be using the Messages from Your Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue, okay? And pulling a crystal card from the Rochelle Sharman deck, the Healing Crystal Oracle. I would have pulled a color card for you guys, but I don't know where that deck is. It's a little weird. That deck keeps walking away, I swear, but I guess she didn't want to be used this week, so we're just going to respect her and let her rest. I don't know where she's at. She'll pop up at some point. I don't know. Anyway, so let's get into it here, and let's see what else we need to know for the week of January 8th, 2018. I want to point out the 8s in the date, the 1s and the 8s. Good stuff. And please always feel free to breathe with me. Just let yourself have a moment. Okay, good. Mystique, we'll talk about it. That's like solutions just coming out of nowhere. And accepting these solutions, we have Fiona, which says, open your arms up and be ready to receive guidance in any way that it comes, or any help in the way that it comes. We have a baby card here. And learning. Okay, so we are shifting our perspective. We've talked about that. Now, this is going to be, you might feel a big, how would I say this? Like a big wrench, like a big, like turning thing that really opens your eyes this week. So it could be something that you're like, oh, you know, clutching my pearls. You did not just say that to me. But then maybe you learn that the person you were confiding in isn't really trustworthy, or you realize the company that you're working at, oh, they do some crazy things. I don't know if I want to be a part of this, you know, kind of thing. So you're learning about the world. You're learning about what's important. You're going to see examples of how things are not working in your life this week. But if you are centered in that divine love within yourself and you're within your empathy, helping you, when you're in your empathy, it helps you see kind of where other people are coming from. Doesn't mean you have to make excuses for bad behavior. Doesn't mean you have to go along to get along. But at least you'll have a deeper understanding of maybe why that person might be acting the way that they are. And so you don't take in all that anger. You don't take in all the resentment. You can forgive a little easier and be like, bye, I'm out. All right. So again, for some of you too, this is you learning. I'll hold up the cards here and we'll have B-roll going with the cards as well. But the Maya card talks about being the student of you. I say that a lot as well. I got a lot of buzz phrases in this reading, I'm sorry. But anyway, and also learning what's truly important, what the earth needs. A lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff coming out for you to look into. All right, so I'm going to put them in order as I pulled them. So the first card we have is Mystique. Keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. Now, this card, we have heard before that change comes through destruction. So there might be this feeling here of, oh my gosh, everything I've known is going away. Or, oh my gosh, I don't know how to proceed. I don't know how to be anymore. For some of you, you're going through a divorce, or you're going through a breakup, and you're not used to sleeping alone, or maybe you're not used to being a single parent, or maybe you have to move and you've never, had to deal with all these details before. Someone out there is very young. You're going to be getting your first home, maybe a house, but it feels like a young woman actually who's moving into her first apartment. Of course, there's going to be some young woman out there who's moving into her first apartment. I know it's not that great, but whatever. Someone who's doing that, it might feel very overwhelming. But again, if you can relax in, faith is going to be a big old thing this week, as it always should be. Something could come out and help you, okay? So you don't want to, okay, let me explain that a little bit. You don't want to wait for people to save you, necessarily. This is you working with your spiritual team, trying to cleanse away some of the worry. Again, you don't have to let things go if you're not ready to. Whatever you got to work through it, and in your own good time, right? But if you are coming up against like a circumstantial conundrum kind of thing, and you need some answers, really be tuning in with your spiritual team, and then relax. Just relax. Let them bring the solution to you, because it might be in a very unexpected way. Okay. And this is what Fiona talks about as well. It says, now that you've asked the angels for help, be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help. So I feel like, the guidance starts to come through and people are like, oh, that's too good to be true. That can't be it. No, I can't possibly do that. Some of the solutions that come up, it might be an opportunity where you're like, that would be great, but I'm not really good at that. I can't really do that, sort of thing. Let that go. Okay. No doubting yourself. So always check out an opportunity, because there could be there are some little sneaky energies out there that are trying to throw you off. So you might hear this message and like an opportunity could come up, and, you have to be very discerning. I did that one time with sponsorship opportunities. As you guys know, I don't put too much sponsored content out unless I really believe in it. Even though that's how YouTubers get paid, because it's not by revenue anymore. But there was an opportunity that came up. I'm like, oh, maybe this is what I was picking up on in the cards. But let me check it out. And I sure did. And something in my gut, I'm like, no, I don't like this. So I, gratefully said, I said thank you, and just sort of graciously declined. But like I said, expressed my gratitude for the opportunity, but no thanks. So do that this week. Just be very careful and, discernment. Let that be your buzzword, okay? Discernment. All right, so then we have Opal. Before I even read it, let me tell you about this Opal card. This has this feeling of something that hadn't been born, something that you wanted to be born, but it did not happen. Okay, so it's still floating out there in the ethers. Now, for a lot of you out there, this feels like a goal, a dream. But you remember from the auto write, it said, change your goals. Because some of those goals, really go back and look at them and ask yourself, why did I want that? Was it because I didn't feel loved enough? Was it because I didn't feel heard enough? And so I thought I could get validation from the public, and that's why I was working on this thing, or validation from my boss, and that's why I was working so hard to put this out there. So really question your motives here, okay? What are your intentions? And let those shift around, and then try to figure out what you want to have born. For some of you, this could indicate this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen, okay, necessarily. I'm saying this is like something that you've already experienced. So if you are a woman, God bless you, if you have experienced in the past a miscarriage or a pregnancy false alarm that you wanted to come to fruition, it's okay. Someone needs to hear that, okay? It's all right. Now, the feeling I've always gotten around that is that the souls are not gone. They're not gone. They're usually floating around waiting to come on in, but every soul is different. I mean, this is a general reading, so I can't really say too much about that here. But this is just letting you know the kids are all right, whether they're here with you in the physical or if they are on the other side. So it says, your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. So for those of you trying to get pregnant and it's just not happening, it's going to be all right. All right. But again, look at your motivation. If you're with a partner, make sure your partner is on board with this as well. Because a lot of times that's what holds up pregnancies. It's the energy, right? Like someone's resisting. Okay. So then we have Maya, which we kind of talked about already. Schooling, study, and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. So we're not going to go too far into that because, like I said, we've already spoken about that. But you're learning what you really want and you're learning what's really important at this time. All right. So let's get the crystal card going here. And maybe about right there. That should be good. Okay, let's see. What do we have? What do you guys think it is? Quick, write it down below. What's the color of the card and what is it? What crystal is it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, I'm a little psychic. I didn't say it and I didn't let you know, but I thought green. But I thought it was a pale green. I was wrong. Okay. So it's malachite healing. Let's talk about this. First, let me put down the deck and then we'll talk about it. So this healing card, malachite is a very powerful crystal. Okay. It's incredibly powerful. So it's like kind of like, that's where things do kind of blow up in your face and really on no uncertain terms lets you know this needs to be healed. So this might also be ancestral healing. So if you have patterns within your family, and who of us doesn't have some family issues, family patterns, what have you, it could be that there needs to be some karma clearing around that. So whether this is an individual healing for you, for your physical body, your mental body. Okay, guys, the mental body is so off right now for a lot of people. You would think it would be the emotional body. That's number 2. But the mental body. There's a lot of mental illness out there. There's lots of personality disorders. There's tons of that stuff going on. And it just keeps amping up because we're not educating ourselves, which is what the Maya card was discussing. So for you, if healing involves healing the mental body, even if you feel like, hey, I'm great, try it. Just try a meditation to start healing that part of you. But we were talking also about ancestral healing, healing the karma of your family. There are tons of things. Again, be careful, right? And who you listen to. I believe Stephen D. Farmer, he does that, right? I like him. I like him a lot. I like his energy. But, he has some things like that. And if you go to dailyohm.com, I think, they have a course up there. What's her name? Sarah Wiseman. I think I'm right on all this. I'm doing this right off the top of my head. But she has a little course up there for 4 weeks. You can, do ancestral healing. So work on that too. That way you're not constantly just like crashing into that. Remember the word crash out of the auto, right? Maybe that's, part of it too. Just crashing into your family, crashing into other people's wants and needs and feeling like yours are getting, squashed. And then what do? You get rambunctious, you fight back. And that just makes everything worse, right? So we're all in this together, guys. We are all working on healing. I am too. This could speak as well to releasing abuse patterns, which is something still unbelievably prevalent in this world. You should know, if you watch my channel at all, you know by now how much I love kids and how much I'm always doing spiritual work to protect infants and children, making sure they're not exploited and so on and so forth. But, really send some healing that way because there's so many things that still are sort of accepted. You know what I mean? And I'll give you one more example and then I'll let you guys go because this is a very long video. But one of the things that really troubles me is when you watch television shows or movies and they have an actual baby, like a real baby, not a baby doll, but a baby, and they're going through a scene and the actors are screaming at one another and that baby is just wailing and shaking and, they got their great shot. That baby doesn't know the difference between traumas. You know what I mean? So that baby is actually experiencing almost like an abuse trauma. with the screaming and the being scared, and they don't know that you're just acting. They don't know that that's not a thing in life. So I think that is something that needs to stop in the movie industry. I would love to start something to get that eradicated, especially in this day and age. It's so easy to create a fake baby. You know what I mean? Like a baby doll that looks lifelike. There's no reason for them to use children in that way. A slightly older child, you might be able to explain to them that this isn't real or what have you, but still they have their emotional body that's getting triggered. Okay. So anyway, I'll leave that as a final thought for your consideration, but really figure out what you want to send healing towards, whether it's your family, yourself, or a situation or a cause. Okay. So we'll leave it there. Have a beautiful week, guys. Be safe. And as always, I'm sending you so much love. Take care.